What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a fun little video for you. I'm gonna share all about my options trading routine and what it looks like on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. I hope that giving you a little behind the scenes look into how I fit my options trading side hustle into my life will also give you some ideas for how it can fit into your busy life too. So with that, let's get into the video. On a good day, I wake up around 7:30 a.m. and get started on my morning routine, which takes me about 45 minutes. I brush my teeth, floss, drink a cup of warm water to get hydrated, and then I just get dressed and get ready. Then after I do my meditation for 20 minutes, I'll take my dog for a walk, and then I'm finally ready to get started with my day. For the last few years, I've been based in Denver, Colorado, which is 2 hours behind New York. So the stock market opens at 9:30 a.m. New York time, since the New York Stock Exchange is in New York, and that is actually 7:30 a.m. Denver time. And quite honestly, as much as I aspire to be an early riser, there is no way I'm ready to sit in front of a computer by 7:30 a.m. But the good thing is you really don't have to be glued to the screen right when the market opens, because if you've been following my options trading videos for a while now, you already know that it's a pretty set it and forget it way of trading options, and it really doesn't require you to babysit your trades whenever the market is open. Which means I log on when I log on. These days I'm in Mexico City, which is only 1 hour behind New York, and I'm working out of a WeWork office, which is it's like beautiful office. And I usually get to this WeWork around 9 a.m. local time, Mexico time. And so as soon as I grab my free and delicious cup of WeWork coffee, I sit down at my desk, I open my laptop, and that's when I open up Thinkorswim. TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim is actually the trading platform that I use for options trading because it has the best analytics out of all the other brokerages out there that you could trade options with. And I actually explain my rationale around why I think Thinkorswim is the best in this video right here, so you can check that out. So by the time I log on to start trading, it's around 10:30 a.m. New York time. That means the stock and options markets have been open for about an hour and a half, which I think is a good time to start getting in and look at what's going on, because any craziness that might have happened right when the market opens has been flushed out and things have calmed down a little bit, usually. First thing I do is quickly scan the news for any major headlines. I have an online subscription to the Financial Times and the Wall Street Journal, which are pretty much the gold standard for financial news. They do cost money. I think it's like maybe $15, $20 a month. So it's kind of annoying to pay, but if you had to choose one, I would go with the Financial Times because it's more international and not as US focused as the Wall Street Journal. So whenever I open up these newspapers online, I usually just go straight to the market section. And the kind of headlines and stories that I'm looking for are basically, I'm looking to detect like what is the market focused on these days. And when I say the market, I'm referring to all the people who participate in the market, whether it's individual investors like you and me, or institutional investors like pension funds, mutual funds, hedge funds. So at any given time, the market will be focused on kind of one major theme at a time. For example, during the pandemic last year, the market was focused on, obviously, the impact of the shutdown on the economy and what, if anything, that the government would do to help keep the economy afloat. So that was the theme at the time. Then earlier this year in 2021, the market was very focused on the possibility of inflation, higher interest rates. It was all about inflation and interest rates. And they're still focused on that now. So that's what I mean by the market and whatever themes they're focused on at the moment. So although there are tons of headlines about all kinds of financial things on any given day, there will always be that one major theme. So that's what I'm looking for when I scan the news each morning. So this takes me about 10 minutes, and sometimes I'll bookmark an article to read more carefully later if I see something interesting. Then after scanning the headlines, I check up on my positions. I first close out any profitable positions, so that's always the first thing that I do. And in reality, I actually place orders in advance to automatically close out trades when they reach a certain profit target. So this process is usually automatic. So this type of order is called a GTC order, which stands for good till canceled. And these are amazing because rather than trying to exercise discipline in your trading or having to remember to do certain things at a certain time, you can just load up the orders in advance and just set it and forget it. The next step is to adjust losing trades, because inevitably you will get losing trades once in a while. And the good news is there's often things you can do to adjust the trade and reduce the amount that you stand to lose. And sometimes you can even turn a loss into a profit. Not always, but sometimes. So this is what I do second. And there's actually a very intentional reason behind why I close out winning trades first and then take care of my losing trades. That's because from a financial standpoint, it's just smart to take money off the table, lock in profits before you start doing anything new. That way you're starting the day with money already in your pocket. More importantly, the real benefit of doing it in this order is psychological. If you already have some winning trades, then you're less likely to act emotionally when you see your losing trades and end up doing something stupid. So I learned this during my time on Wall Street as a Forex trader, where I worked with a really great team of experienced traders who taught me a lot. And it's these kind of tricks of the trade that can really make the difference between being successful with your trading and not. The third thing I do is to enter new trades. I'll put orders in for the trades that I want to make, but the thing is, just because you want to place a trade doesn't mean your order will get filled right away. Sometimes to get the pricing that you want, you have to let the orders work for a while until it gets filled. A good analogy for this is, let's say you are at some sort of outdoor street market and you're trying to haggle with a vendor, and maybe you want to get a certain pricing for, a beautiful ceramic pot that you want to buy, and the seller maybe doesn't want to sell it to you for that price. So you're just sort of haggling back and forth, and it could take 30 minutes, maybe even an hour of going back and forth until you can get the pricing that you want, or in trading terminology, until you can get your order filled. So this is why I do my options trading in the morning. That way I can enter in my orders early, set the pricing that I want, and then let the orders work for the remaining 5 or 6 hours left until the market closes at 4 p.m. New York time. Also, funny story, back in the day before I switched to Thinkorswim, I used to use a brokerage called TradeStation, which isn't as good as Thinkorswim, but good enough for options trading, especially if you're outside of the US and you don't have access to Thinkorswim. So TradeStation would have these really annoying sound notifications that scared the shit out of me. Like whenever an order would get filled, this really creepy, deep male voice would go, "Order filled." And holy crap, that would just catch me out of nowhere while I'm like deep in focus writing an email or something. And it would literally just make me jump out of my chair. I hated that. It was kind of hilarious actually. So anyway, back to what I was saying earlier. At this point, once I've entered in all my orders for new trades, I then minimize my Thinkorswim browser and then turn my attention to my actual job, which is creating financial education content for you guys. So that takes up most of my day. Sometimes I might step away from the desk to film a video like this, take some calls, etc. And the WeWork I'm at right now has a patio with such a nice view. So in the middle of the day, I might sit out there to play with my dog, who also gets to come along with me, and just try and get some sunlight. At the very end of the day, sometimes I'll check back into Thinkorswim to see which order is filled, and if not, I'll earmark them to try and get those orders filled the next day. So that is the order in which I do things. I sit down at my desk, drink my coffee. Everything always starts with coffee. That's just a fact of life for me. And then I start scanning headlines. Then I close winning trades, adjust losing trades, enter new trades. And then some days I check back at the end of the day to see if anything new and important happened during the day and maybe set myself up for the next morning. Since options trading is not my full-time job, I usually limit myself to around 30 minutes total only in the morning. On some days when there isn't much to do, it's just checking up on my positions for a few minutes and that's it. Some days I don't log into Thinkorswim at all. So it varies, but I also have, YouTube videos to make, a business to run. I'm also a single mom of a very stubborn French bulldog puppy. So I'm busy. I purposely limit my time in front of the trading screen to maybe max 30 minutes a day. Okay, so that is what goes on in terms of daily routine. Now let's talk about my weekly/monthly routine. Your overall routine on a weekly or monthly basis is going to depend a lot on which option expiry dates that you trade. So there are two types of expiry dates. There's weeklies and monthlies. Most tickers have options that expire every single week each Friday. For example, right now, the weekly dates are July 30th, 2021, which is this Friday. And then there's August 6th, which is next Friday. Then there's August 13th, which is next Friday, and so on and so forth. Then there are monthlies. Monthlies are options that expire on the third Friday of each month. I don't know why it's the third Friday of the month, whoever decided that, but for whatever reason, the expiry date for a lot of financial contracts, not just option contracts, tend to land on the third week of the month. Now, there's nothing wrong with trading weeklies, but as for me, I trade monthlies only because they tend to be the most liquid. What that means is when something is liquid, it means there's a lot of supply and demand for those dates for that contract. So it's easy to buy and sell and get in and out of trades. Liquidity is a very important concept in trading, and it's always something to look for when choosing a ticker to trade and choosing a date to trade. Not only this, but it's just way easier to keep track of things if all of my option positions always expire on the third week of each month. It just creates a little consistency in my schedule month to month. So in this list of expiry dates, right now, since we're in July, August 20th is the first monthly contract because it lands on the third Friday in August. The next monthly is September 17th, which lands on the third Friday in September. And then there's October 15th, which also lands on the third Friday of that month. At least in Thinkorswim, all weeklies will be colored in yellow and monthlies will be colored in white. Another important detail is that I'll only trade the first 2 monthlies at a time. Once again, that's because the first 2 monthlies are always the most liquid. So right now, since we're still in July, I'm only putting on trades for August 20th and September 17th. But after August 20th, the August monthly will disappear off this list, and then the first 2 monthlies will then roll forward and become the September and October contracts. Choosing which expiry dates to trade is just one part of an entire 5-step process of entering into an option trade. You first need to choose your ticker, choose your strike. You also need to choose what option strategy to trade. You also need to choose what direction to take. So if you would like to learn more about exactly how to set up these income generating option trades, and more importantly, get step-by-step tutorials on how to do it in Thinkorswim, then go check out my course, In the Money. In the Money is my 12-week options trading for beginners program, and it'll teach you everything you need to know to start generating consistent cash flow with options trading. There's also a ton of cool bonuses in there, like weekly live Q&As with me, access to my case study library, where I'll debrief you on my best and worst trades and what I would have done differently. FYI, enrollment closes on Tuesday, August 3rd of 2021. So depending on when you're watching this video, the link below might just take you to a waitlist page, but you can head on over to rosehan.com/inthemoney to sign up. I've also put the link below in the description. So anyway, back to the video. Since I only trade monthlies, I would say the cadence of entering in new trades is about 1 new trade every 1 or 2 days for an average of 20 new trades per month. Sometimes it's 5 trades in 1 day, it just kind of depends. However, when you're just starting out, you would want to start with just 1 trade at a time until you really understand everything that happens to the trade from the moment you enter it to the moment you exit it or it expires, because a lot can happen. And not only this, you'd also want to practice trading with simulation money first. Your first ever trade, I really think, should just be with fake money, so you can just learn the ropes in a risk-free environment. Now, I'll show you how to do all of that inside of my In the Money program. So if you're wanting a lot of hand-holding as you learn the ropes, definitely go check that out because enrollment is closing in just a few days and it's gonna be really, really fun. All right, guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. This is the 6th and last video in my 6-week options trading for beginners video series. It has been really fun putting together this series. I hope you got a lot of value from it. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And if you're new around here, you can catch up on the rest of the 6-week series with this playlist right here. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more awesome content on how to seriously up-level your financial literacy and live life on your terms. That's it for now. I will see you guys next week, same time, same place. Bye.